Greetings and welcome. My name is Michael Miller. This is a Michael Miller trademark training video out to you because you're watching. Thank you and welcome. It's meant for Michael Miller Pilates licensed affiliates, licensed presenters, the Core New Core, my patrons, and anyone interested in surviving and thriving as a Pilates instructor. Yesterday I talked for 2 hours on Facebook, and people's names show up and I get to attach my message to them, and then I think long after they've left I'm still talking to them, but it makes for a good audience. So it's 11:38, 5 minutes. Would be 43, 11:43. So if yesterday was 2 hours in Facebook, maybe I'm just spending too much time going over the same stuff. So I only have one thing today, and that's why learn to do Pilates. See, why learn to do Pilates? Now I mean that in the same way as why learn to swim. You learn to swim because someday it might save your life, if no other reason, right? It helps. You learn to swim. Why did I write it down? You learn to swim. Someday it may save your life, right? It's a skill that can help you survive. Now when I ask why learn to do Pilates, the to do Pilates means to me to do a sequence of movements without stopping, flowing through them, ideally the ones that are part of the mat that are suitable to you in the order that they appear in the mat, right? And that any uniform eccentric loading flowing through progressive patterns of movement, anything that expresses the flow and the effort, the quality of the effort involved, learning to do Pilates is learning to move from exercise to exercise without stopping, in a flow that's whole body in its expression, eccentric loading in its nature, its progression. It assumes progression. It assumes flow, and in the flow there is progression, either in taking on the load of the body, or in choosing what plane to control your movement in. Ideally, it's nice to think that you have Pilates, or I'm very lucky because I have gotten to do a routine intermediate reformer on a daily basis for several years. And yet, that's only because of where I'm at in my life and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. In the much broader population of people living their lives, it's very tough to maintain any kind of routine. The reason to learn to do Pilates like you learn to swim is so that you can fall back on it when you need to. So that, fall back on. See? When you're really pressed, when you're really pressed, I have 1 minute left. When you're really pressed and you know how to do the mat or do some exercises without stopping that are like or resonate with the actual mat work, when you're doing Pilates, you're uniformly engaged in moving from exercise to exercise. And I would point out in closing that by doing it, by moving from exercise to exercise without stopping, that's like life itself, in that there's no pause button in life and in time. Time just continues to unfold. So part of the reason I think it's so grounding to do Pilates is that it brings you into the flow of time that you're in. Makes you more present, more likely to survive. So there's a sequentiality to it and a progressive nature to what's in the sequentiality. Life can't live forever. Read between the lines, see behind the curtain, connect the dots, evaluate points of view, and then know how to add 2 and 2, know how to make an offer. And then direct your thinking as much as you can, as much as you choose to. Geist,